Feel the power.
Oh, I could feel it.
Now a moment of triumph approaches. It's dinner time.
Welcome to Miss Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 rejected animated movies that became successful. For this list, we'll be looking at films that were turned down, dropped, or drastically changed by animation studios before receiving acclaim. Which pick do you think has the greatest underdog story? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Heavy Metal. While animated children's movies are regular box office hits, there's also an audience for more mature works. This science fiction anthology film was only a moderate commercial and critical success when it was first released, but over time it's gained popularity.
From our very beginning, it was ordained that the warrior race of Tarak the Defender would aid us in times of need. This was the pact.
It was produced by multiple animation studios, with each one working on different segments. Nelvana Limited turned down their chance to contribute to the project, opting instead to produce their first feature, Rock and Rule.
Look, forget it. I won't sing. And what have you done to the guys?
I offer you fame, riches, and a crack at the top. You refuse.
The Canadian studio gets credit for producing a full-length film, but they also lost an opportunity to be associated with a cult classic.
35,000 Zuleks. Thanks, Hanover.
It's nothing, boss.
Number 9. Vivo. In 2010, Lin-Manuel Miranda was pitched a movie deal by DreamWorks Animation. However, the same year, Miranda's musical Hamilton took the Broadway world by storm. The studio underwent a restructuring that caused them to drop the animated project. It wasn't until 2016 that Sony Pictures Animation picked it up.
And if y'all like that, won't you pass the hat? Right along like that, won't you pass the hat? Yeah, if y'all like that, won't you pass the hat? It's Vivo, I'm faster than your average cat.
In addition to being cast as the titular character, the award-winning composer was also contracted to write 11 original songs.
All I can do at the end of the day is play on, and keep the beat.
The animated feature broke records the month it started streaming on Netflix and received praise specifically for its music.
I bounce to the beat of my own drum. I'm a wow in a world full of ho-hums. I'm a wild young lady, but you know some? I'd rather be at home with my own drum.
It goes to show dropping a project with Lin-Manuel Miranda is never a good idea. Number 8. Ron's Gone Wrong.
You are my friend.
Your best friend out of the box?
The children's movie for a technological age is the first animated feature from Locksmith Animation. The film was praised for balancing a mature story with juvenile humor, making it perfect for the whole family.
You don't have to stay within 6 feet. Go. Be everywhere.
Adios, Absalom.
Arrivederci, Ron Bitskatsko.
However, before its release, the project's filmmakers had trouble nailing down a distributor. Initially, they had struck a deal with Paramount Pictures, but things fell through when the company's CEO changed. The creators next turned to 20th Century Studios, but their acquisitions by the Walt Disney Company again raised concerns regarding distribution. Writer and director Sarah Smith called the acquisition terrifying. Luckily, Disney executives ended up approving the film.
This is not fun, okay?
Not fun. Okay.
Look, I'm taking you back to the bubble store.
Number 7. The Book of Life.
You offer an apology and one long overdue. I am sorry.
From Shrek to How to Train Your Dragon, DreamWorks Animation is responsible for some of the greatest contemporary children's movies.
Huh. Toothless. I could have sworn you had... teeth.
Their roster could have included this beautifully animated feature if it weren't for creative differences. In the end, it was produced and distributed by Real FX and 20th Century Fox Animation. Having already co-created a cartoon for television, writer and director Jorge R. Gutierrez was very particular about the film's art style. From the concept images onward, he ensured that the film was visually stunning. The film product is an impressive display of CGI.
What am I doing here? I don't belong here.
Number 6. Frozen.
It's for the first time in forever. There'll be music, there'll be light.
Walt Disney Animation Studios tried for a long time to make an adaptation of Hans Christian Andersen's classic fairy tale, The Snow Queen. The company's namesake himself first suggested the concept in 1940, but the studio decided the story wasn't relatable. It was revisited in the 1990s during the Disney Renaissance, but was scrapped in 2002, when one of the animators left the project. Another attempt to adapt the tale began in 2008, but it didn't get real traction until 2011. The project underwent a ton of changes. The characters, plot, and animation style all developed dramatically throughout the process. The final product is unlike anything the creators first imagined, and yet is a massive success.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Number 5. The Emperor's New Groove. Development for a film named Kingdom of the Sun began during the Disney Renaissance, motivated by the success of The Lion King. Studio executives greenlit an epic story inspired by Inca culture.
How about developing a story about a South American culture? I looked at them and I said, oh, the Incas. So I gathered a crew to do the picture, inspired by a setting like Machu Picchu, the city up in the clouds, up in the mountains.
However, production dragged and the project was nearly shut down. After a complete overhaul, the story became a fast-paced buddy story full of slapstick comedy.
I bet you weren't expecting this. Aha!
Oh, okay.
Finish them off.
With a new narrative, cast, and name, the final film made it to theaters 6 months after its intended release date. It might have been a nightmare to produce, but we love this Disney classic.
Okay, see this palace? Everyone in it is at my command. Check this out. Butler. Chef. Theme song guy.
Oh, yeah!
Number 4. The Lion King. This wild movie is one of Disney's greatest success stories.
So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you. And so will I.
However, the classic we know and love is dramatically different from the film that was first pitched. The original director, George Scribner, wanted a documentary-style narrative and pushed against musical additions. Scribner ended up leaving the project, and no offense to him, but we're kinda happy he did. We can't imagine this movie without its soundtrack.
It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy.
Besides the music, plenty of changes were made to the story throughout production. For instance, Simba's original arc didn't require him to leave the kingdom as a cub. Rafiki was originally a cheetah instead of a mandrill. Sometimes rejecting the parts of a film that aren't working is for the best.
Oh yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it.
Number 3. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton was working for Disney when he wrote a 3-page poem inspired by Christmas and Halloween.
It's your turn to take it easy.
But there must be some mistake.
See that he's comfortable. Just a second, fella. Of course! That's what I'm missing.
The animation studio considered adapting their employees' original concept in 1982, but decided it didn't suit their brand. They shelved the project and later in 1984 fired Burton from his position. It wasn't until 1990 that the writer discovered his previous employer had retained the film rights to his intellectual property.
How could I be so blind? All this lost. Where was I?
At that point, Burton had a few full-length features to his credit, and Disney executives were more willing to produce something with his name attached. They couldn't completely shake their doubts, however, and the stop-motion feature was released under Touchstone Pictures. No one imagined the film would find the success it did.
I'd like to join you by your side, where we can gaze into the stars.
Number 2. The Secret of Nim.
Mother, did the rats really go to Thorn Valley? Yes, they did. Will we ever see them? Perhaps. Today.
No. When you're older.
Kid-friendly retellings of famous fairy tales and novels are Disney's bread and butter. So it's surprising to learn that in 1972, the studio turned down the rights to Robert C. O'Brien's book, Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim.
There is a way. Go to the rats.
But I don't know any rats.
Years later, a group of animators at the company, including Don Bluth, developed an interest in adapting the story. They discussed the project with company executives, but were told that the narrative was too similar to The Rescuers.
Bianca, we just... Oh, Bernard. Adventure, thrills, intrigue, travel, exotic places. Oh, come on, darling, let's go.
Having been shot down by his higher-ups, Bluth left Disney along with some of his peers. He established his own production company and directed his first feature film, The Secret of Nim. The independent animated flick rivals those produced by the director's former employer.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Toy Story. Studio executives and filmmakers alike saw the potential in this project, but narrative and contractual disagreements almost kept it from being made.
You weren't the real Buzz Lightyear, you're an action figure! You are a child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
Before development even began, director John Lasseter was fired from Disney for pitching a different, fully computer-animated feature. He went on to help found Pixar and produce an Academy Award-winning short titled Tin Toy. Lasseter's former employer expressed interest in adapting the short, but was resistant to allowing a picture to be made outside the studio. After messy negotiations, it was agreed that the film would be a co-production. Once in development, Disney executives suggested drastic changes to Pixar's proposed story. It became a buddy comedy with new leads and a different ending. Certified 100% fresh, the final result is literally perfect.
Now, Buzz, what could Andy possibly get that is worse than you?
Oh, what is it? What is it? Wow, a puppy!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.